ìkà.
Òótọ́ ni. Ẹdún náà. Àmọ̀ràn tí gbàdúrà ta fi ń jẹun.
Nígbà.
Nígbà o.
Nígbà nígbà.
Èmi gbà.
Wọ́n lọ tí gbà.
Èmi náà rántí.
Gbà.
Ẹ lè gbà báyìí.
Gbà ní ìsìn náà.
Ẹ gbà.
Ní ayé oúnjẹ ìsúnmọ́.
Àmín.
Jẹ́ ká rìn ọyọ́ bá ń gbà ó.
Àmín.
Jésù kìtì. Olúwa wa.
Àmín.
Hello guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. First, let me start by apologizing for the abrupt silence here. I'm back. So today I will just be giving a quick story so far of Abejoye season 8. We've had 3 episodes so far. I'll give the story so far, lessons, my favorite part and all that good stuff. And of course, feel free to share your lessons and your favorite parts in the comment section. If you remember, at the end of season 7, they tried to remove Baba Abejoye from his Abejoye position, and Oluoje was put in that position, and it caused a little bit of drama because some of them got hurt. I think one of them even died. So let's just start from the part that Baba Abejoye is back in his position. And remember that at the end of season 7, the chiefs, the Oloyes that were arrested and were sent to Oshogbo's, should I say prison or or custody now, came back to the village. So now let's circle back to the Afobaje cult or Afobaje circle. Remember that I said some of them got sick, some of them died. So Oloye Araba, who was, should I say, paralyzed now, we see that he's still in that state. But one of them, the son of one of them, Adio, came to the village to come and avenge his father. So he attacked Baba Abejoye in the dream, and Olubeja came through for Baba Abejoye. Now, his intention, Adio's intention was to shoot Baba Abejoye, but he was the one who, died instead. Of course, his death caused a little bit of, okay, so how did this one too die? His father just died recently, and the accusation fell on Baba Abejoye because he had initially said he heard gunshots in his room. So everyone just assumed for some reasons that he was the one who killed Adio. Of course, Baba Abejoye was arrested. He was taken to Oshogbo. The king now sent King Yiwu and Oloye Oluoje to go check up on him. But somehow they preached themselves into prison too. Baba Abejoye is in prison. King Yiwu and Oloye Oluoje are also in prison. So let me just break that their own scene down a bit, because King Yiwu and Oluoje were just there. Kabiyesi actually sent them to check on Baba Abejoye, like I said, and just know how he's doing. But from sharing testimonies to King Yiwu just talking about her past life, actually it was them trying to explain who Olubeja is to the police officers that got them in that mix. And King Yiwu kind of like said too much, and they realized that she killed a police officer that one of them knows, actually one of them's brother. So they were also kept in custody. So you can imagine Kabiyesi not hearing from the people he sent and also not hearing from Abejoye. So those ones are in custody. Let's pause on those 3 for now. Let's go to the chiefs. Remember, at the end of season 7, they got back to the village, but for some reasons, they have refused to go see Kabiyesi. It's almost like they have formed their own gang now. They are not talking to Kabiyesi. They didn't. It's very, it's very disrespectful. How you are Kabiyesi's chiefs, but you have refused to go and see him. You have refused to go and visit him. You have refused to talk to. It just doesn't make sense. Aside from that, Kabiyesi even sent what's this guy's name? Ebolo, his messenger. Kabiyesi sent his messenger to go check up on them. Like, I guess he has called them, but nothing, he heard nothing from them. Kabiyesi sent him, and these chiefs still had the audacity to bribe this guy to say that they didn't hear or he didn't see them, he didn't find them. So that's that for the chiefs. They've just been enjoying their time back. If not for one of them that called them back to their senses, they were going to falsely testify to the fact that it was Abejoye that killed Adio. But thank God for the one single one out of them, who we know as Baba Gbero, and may his soul rest in perfect peace, because we know now that he's going to be with the Lord. Now, a quick update on the guys in the US, Bamidele and his family. And remember also that in season 7, one of the chiefs in the African, what do they call themselves again? African something something community, African traditionalist community. Yeah, one hit the son of another with the ring, and also hit his own son through anger or by anger. So yeah, now he goes to Bamidele to try to find some solution or healing for his son, because Baba Abejoye had gone through the same experience, and he didn't die, he was healed. So he's almost like looking for solution at this point, not knowing that the his other, should I say, secret cult member or member, and his own and the own son, have been healed. Long story short, Bamidele tries to tell him that you have to go apologize to that family, and we are not the healer. Jesus healed my father, Baba Abejoye, and all the other people. So it's almost like he's just trying to get him to understand that Jesus was the one who healed. And if anything is going to happen, you're going to have to accept that Jesus. It's not like it was doing a trade. It was just trying to get him to know that Jesus did it, and trying to look for healing outside of Jesus just doesn't make sense. But what's his name now? I'm forgetting the chief's name. He just kept refusing because he was more interested in his son getting better. It's almost like, let this your God prove that it can heal my son first before I give my life to die your God, or accept his life, or however you put it. They've gone to pray for his son, and I'm sure his son will be healed. So that is that about the guys in the US. But let me just say quickly that Bamidele is such a weird son for somebody to have. How would you somehow believe that your father can kill somebody? Like, it's not adding up. It doesn't even make sense. And let me say that they've introduced a character who is Bamidele's sister. We've not seen that character before. We've not heard of the character before. This is like, it's like an introduction. I think I love how it's playing out, because his wife is dead. The girl living with him, what's her name? She's a bit young, so it makes sense to actually introduce another character in that picture. Now, Baba Abejoye, Kinkinyu, and Oluoje, under the pretense of they are taking them to a closer place so they can go for so they can go to the court or something. Were taken to a place where they were just being entertained and they ate. We don't exactly know who sent for them or why they are there yet. The only thing we know is is it DPO or commissioner of police that sent for them. And yeah, let's just move to my favorite part at this point. I really like the part where Kinkinyu and Oloje were in should I say, a fight or a heated argument, and Kinkinyu was trying to say, if it was me before, if it was the former me, I would have done this, done that. And Oloje was just trying to let her remember that the old you is dead. All this what you are doing is gra. You cannot do anything. We are now in the same kingdom. We now belong to the same God. So there's nothing you can do to me. It's such a sight to behold, because I can imagine, maybe I can't imagine, but we can just get a sense of how Kinkinyu must have felt that, the old me would not take this nonsense. But imagine the nonsense I'm having to take just because. So it just tells us that, honestly, being in Christ will have you forfeit some things that you enjoyed in your previous life, or some things that you would have gloried in your previous life. And the safety of having people around you that belong to the same Father, the same kingdom, there's so much safety in it. And it just reminds me of the part, or the understanding that the love of God actually constrains us. He would have, imagine what Kinkinyu would have actually done to Oloje. I mean, she had done things to him in the past. Remember, he was paralyzed at some point. It was when Jesus healed him that he now received the life of Christ. So just imagine if she wasn't if she wasn't a believer now, the things she would have done to him. Another part, I find really interesting, still speaking about Kinkinyu and Oloje, was when they were expanding to the police officers, when they were explaining who Olugbeja is. Actually, it was Kinkinyu that did most of the talking, and she was explaining who Olugbeja is, and we know how Kinkinyu, breaks down these Bible stories because her, should I say, mentor now or spiritual father also does that. Who is Baba? We know how Baba explains all these Bible stories and breaks them down and makes them so vivid and so interesting. And she did the same. She did the same to while talking to the police officers, and just made me remember the fact that there are some transferable skills here if we look at it. Remember how Kinki before in our old life, we say those incantations with so much audacity and so much confidence and all of that. The same way she tells Bible stories, when she recites Psalms, and she's, whether it's just to explain who God is, or just in a moment of fear. Remember when she was kidnapped and she was going through scriptures? There are transferable skills. Remember Paul in the Bible too. Paul has always been radical. When he accepted the life of Christ and he became a Christian, he remained radical. Do you understand? Like, there are transferable skills, and it's okay because some of those skills are actually useful. Yeah. So even though Kinki didn't know when to stop, which is one of the lessons, she just did not read the room. She didn't know when to stop. It's okay to share your testimony, right? But also read the room and know when to say what, because eventually her explanation got her in trouble and she preached herself into prison. Very, very dedicated radical believer. I love it. So another thing, another part or scene I find interesting in episodes we've had in season 8 so far would be when, of course, remember that I said Kabiyesi sent Ebolo to go and see the chiefs and just ask them, like, I've not heard from you guys. They said you people are back. What's up now? What's going on? And what's her name now? The only female in the chiefs, that should be Yalaje. No, what they call them? Not Yalaje. I almost said Yalaje. What they call them now? I don't remember. I don't remember. And she was like, oh, her phone has misplaced. And Yalode, no Yalaje, Yalode. And she was like, oh, her phone has misplaced. She has not seen, she didn't see any call from Kabesi. And her phone rang right there and then. And she was still saying, she was still standing on that. And he said, her phone has misplaced. The audacity, though, really. Lastly, the part where Oluoje forgot to pray before it, that was so real, because a lot of us do it. In fact, at some point, we just say the prayer in our mind at this point. But that was so real, because it does happen. Now, I've mentioned the lessons here and there, but let me just mention them now. Like I said, read the room. It's okay to share your testimony, but know what to say, know what not to say. Do you get? Another thing is, your testimony is for the liberation of others, right? And it's been a consistent theme and a consistent lesson over the seasons, not just the episode. They have all shared their testimonies one way or the other. Oloje has shared his testimony. Kinki has shared her testimony. Chief Awokwaniwe and his son, sharing their own testimony to the other chief, so he would also believe. Your testimony is for the liberation of others. It's as much as it's also to glorify God, is also to strengthen other people's faith, and for those who do not have, for their own liberation. Also, Baba Abejoye is such an amazing discipler, teaching and discipling them, even at the point where, yes, they are out of the custody and they are eating, but they still don't even know their faith. They don't know where they are going from there. And right there, he was still telling them about David, and that just goes to say also that he just doesn't know. He doesn't only know scriptures and the stories. He can also apply them in real time, because after he was done telling the Joseph, not David, sorry. After he was done telling the Joseph story, how Joseph got out of prison and was interpreting dreams and all of that, he was like, we are just going to meet Pharaoh. The application is so real time and vivid. And I think as believers, that's something for us to learn. You know how you just read parts of the Bible, they are applicable. You just have to be open enough to see and know which and when to apply what. Also, God really turns situations around. Who would have thought that Kinkin Ihu and Oluoje with Baba Abejoye and all of them who somehow just found themselves behind bars would at night or later in the evening of that day still be served like kings and queen. Lastly, Baba Abejoye's spiritual sensitivity is to be should I say desired now, and his communication with God. It was his communication that even let him know that night, when Adio had planned or was coming to attack him, that just start praising me, just start singing, right? Even right at where in custody before they took him away, it was, it's funny, yeah. It's funny that that you did not do it. You know that it was your Olubeja that shot a gun that definitely killed this person, and you are the one behind bars. But he still handled the situation well because he has so much understanding and he kept communicating with God even in all of that. I think those are just the parts I felt like we should see, point out, take note of. Let me know what are your lessons from these episodes so far. What have been your favorite scenes and favorite parts? And yeah, that's all for this review. And hopefully I will see you guys when episode 4 is out. For now, bye.